In a small, cozy town nestled between rolling hills and ancient trees, there was a library that seemed to hold a piece of every heart in the village. It was a place where stories came alive, where the scent of old pages mingled with the soft rustling of turning leaves outside. Lila was a quiet soul who loved to spend her afternoons there, lost in the pages of novels that whisked her away to far-off lands and times. She had a favorite spot by the window, where the sunlight would gently spill over her as she read, her auburn hair glowing like autumn leaves. One day, as she reached for a book on the highest shelf, she found a small, folded piece of paper tucked inside. Curious, she opened it and read, "To the one who finds this, know that you are beautiful, and I hope your day is as wonderful as you are." Lila's heart fluttered. She looked around, but the library was nearly empty, save for Mr. Thompson, the elderly librarian, who was dozing at the front desk. Smiling, she slipped the note into her pocket and continued her day, the words playing in her mind like a melody. Over the next few weeks, Lila found more notes hidden in different books, each one more charming and poetic than the last. They spoke of the beauty of the changing seasons, the magic of a simple smile, and the warmth of a kind heart. Each note brightened her day, and she couldn't help but wonder who was behind them. One crisp autumn afternoon, as she was browsing the poetry section, she found another note, but this one was different. It simply said, "Meet me in the garden at the back of the library at sunset if you'd like to know who's been writing to you." Her heart raced. Sunset was just an hour away. She spent the next 60 minutes pacing the aisles, her mind a whirl of excitement and nerves. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold, Lila made her way to the garden. It was a small, secluded spot filled with blooming roses and the soft hum of evening insects. She stood there, her breath held, waiting. And then, from behind a tall oak tree, stepped Noah, a young man she had seen at the library before, always with a book in hand and a thoughtful expression on his face. He looked just as nervous as she felt. "I'm sorry if I startled you with the notes," he said, his voice soft but steady. "I've noticed you here so often, and I've always admired how you seem to find such joy in reading. I didn't know how else to approach you." Lila smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. "They were lovely," she replied, "and they made my days brighter." They stood there for a moment, both of them unsure of what to say next, but not needing to. The silence was comfortable, filled with the unspoken promise of something new and wonderful. As the last light of day faded, they sat together on the garden bench, talking about their favorite books, their dreams, and the small joys in life. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one that neither Lila nor Noah had expected, but one that felt like it had been written just for them.
The Grand City Library was a labyrinth of knowledge, with towering shelves that seemed to reach the heavens. It was a place where history whispered through the air, and the smell of ink and old leather lingered long after the doors closed each night. The library was known not only for its vast collection of books, but also for its peculiar legend, a legend that intrigued every visitor and puzzled even the most curious minds. It was said that if you lost a bookmark in the library, you would find a new one in its place the next day, always with a single word written on it. The words seemed random: hope, forever, dream, wait. But no one had ever discovered who was behind it or what the words meant. Amelia was a young woman with an insatiable curiosity. She worked as a part-time librarian while pursuing her studies in history. The mystery of the bookmarks fascinated her, and she spent countless hours trying to solve it. She had a theory that the words were connected to a hidden message, one that had been left by a long-forgotten librarian, or perhaps even a lover from the past. One rainy evening, after the library had closed, Amelia decided to test the legend for herself. She carefully selected an old, worn-out bookmark, one that had been her grandmother's. and placed it between the pages of a dusty, leather-bound book in the history section. She marked her calendar, eager to return the next day. The following morning, Amelia rushed to the library as soon as it opened. She hurried to the spot where she had left her bookmark, and sure enough, it was gone. In its place was a new one, handmade, delicate, and adorned with intricate designs. The word on it was begin. Intrigued, Amelia continued her experiment, leaving a different bookmark in a different book each day. Each time, the bookmark would disappear, replaced by a new one with a single word. Wait, listen, seek, trust. The words were simple yet profound, and they seemed to weave together into something more than just a message. They felt like a journey, a path to be followed. One evening, after placing yet another bookmark in a random book, Amelia lingered in the library, determined to catch the mysterious person who was swapping them. She hid in the shadows, her heart racing with anticipation. Hours passed, and just as she was about to give up, she heard a soft rustling in the history section. Carefully peeking around the corner, she saw a young man with tousled hair and glasses perched on his nose, holding the book she had marked. He was the library's new assistant, someone she had seen in passing, but never really spoken to. His name was Ethan, and he had been working at the library for just a few months. Ethan didn't notice her, as he gently removed the bookmark and replaced it with one of his own. He hesitated for a moment, then scribbled a word on it with a fountain pen. Find. Amelia stepped forward, startling him. He dropped the book, and they both reached to pick it up, their hands brushing against each other. "Is it you?" Amelia asked, her voice a mix of amazement and curiosity. Ethan blushed, adjusting his glasses nervously. "I didn't mean to be so mysterious," he admitted. I noticed you. You're always searching for something in these books, like you're looking for a story that hasn't been written yet." Amelia felt her heart skip a beat. And the words? "They're part of a story I wanted to share with you," he said, smiling shyly. "But I didn't know how to approach you, so I thought, maybe this would catch your attention." Amelia laughed softly, her earlier frustration melting away. "You certainly did that," she said, holding up the latest bookmark. "So what's the end of the story?" Ethan's eyes sparkled with a mix of hope and uncertainty. "I don't know yet," he said, "but I was hoping we could write it together." And so, in the quiet corners of the Grand Library, surrounded by the wisdom of ages past, a new story began. A story of two souls who found each other through the words they left behind, and the love they discovered in the most unexpected of places.